Good evening. It's day 10 of the Vadam India Advent Tea Calendar. And today, we have got a English breakfast black tea. So we'll be brewing this up full-bodied, talk a little bit about what blended and single leaf teas are and some of the common blends. And 5 minutes later, I've got a nice strong cup of tea brewed up. So breakfast tea is just kind of a marketing ploy that was come up with by tea purveyors to have a different blend and also encourage people to not just have tea at tea time in the afternoon for the British, but also in the morning. And the idea was that they would make it a particularly strong blend, right? Open up your eyes, compete with coffee, that sort of stuff. And so usually you hear English breakfast, Irish breakfast. They're both based around, they're both what are called I'll call blended teas. A blended tea is where it's all tea, it's all Camellia chinensis, sinensis, not chinensis. Sorry, which means the same thing because Sino means Chinese. Sinensis. Oh my goodness. Have I been messing that up the whole time? Ooh. When you look like an idiot in front of anyone on the internet. Anyway, it's all Camellia sinensis. It just comes from different provinces or areas or states, as you'll often hear the terminology. And so it's like terroir and different strains of grape. So the history of which sort of tea plants and the type of soil and when they get the rain and sun, all of those affect what the final product is like, as well as with black teas, the oxidation / fermentation process. So there's a tremendous variety of teas. And so both Irish breakfast and English breakfast use the Assam leaf from the Assam hills in India. A kind of a remote area for a lot of Indian history with these rolling hills that are just covered in carpets and carpets of tea plants now. And it produces a particularly strong, highly caffeinated leaf. So that's why it's at the basis of both of them. And then usually the English breakfast will use usually a Kenyan tea, which are known to be much milder. So it's there to kind of accent and fill out the body of the Assam, whereas the Irish breakfast usually uses a Ceylon or a Sri Lankan tea. Again, a softer tea than the Assam to kind of balance it out. So they're both good wake up, open up your eyes sort of things. Neither of them is incredibly standardized. Different companies and people will use the term differently. So it should be an Assam leaf. Given this thing has used a lot of Assam leaf in a lot of their blends, I'm sure it is. Then, like I said, usually a Kenyan, but a Sri Lankan, a Ceylon's not out of the question. And with English breakfast, it's a very good English breakfast. There'll be kimun, which is a Chinese tea leaf that is very highly prized. So whenever you see something that has kimun, Keemun, which is a terrible transliteration of Chinese, that's usually pretty good tea. Or they're lying, but why would they do that? Wonderful stone fruit, right? That kind of like peachy, but not in like the really sweet way. Like a little note of what I like to think of as like really mild tobacco. Yep, it's got that slight astringency of the Assam leaf. You can kind of feel a little bit of pucker on your tongue. And, yep, again, just kind of a really subtle oxidized flavor. Like I said, stone fruit. And if you've ever, I don't know if you've ever smelled a tobacco plant when it dries out before it's actually been all broken up and rolled out. It kind of smells like that. It's a very kind of hay grass sort of thing, but like darker. Anyway, a little of that to this as well. So overall, it's a very nice English breakfast. Not one of the absolute top that I've ever had, but very nice. I would not object to this in the morning at all. I'm normally a little more of the Irish breakfast type, which has probably just got to do with the fact that I love Ireland so much, and my mom's side of the family is Irish. but this is very good. I'd give this an 8, actually. This is a very nice tea to be sipping on this evening. Sadly, I ate all my little treats because I have no self-control. Uh, but it's all right. I probably don't need more calories tonight. Anyway, have a good one and enjoy some good tea.